Hello, Da Vinci. Welcome back. This is Friday, the 5th of February's English lesson. Can I write instructions using the correct features? Now, we've got a bit of a fun one today, so stick with me. We've got a bit of an activity at the end that might include you doing something quite fun as well. So let's get on. You're going to need these listening ears, which you can see, obviously, nice and big on me because I've got my hair cut. Magnet eyes, need them as well. This week, we wrote instructions on how to wash your hair in space. For this lesson, I'd like you to write your own set of instructions. But on what, Mr. Watkiss? Well, let's find out. I would like you to write instructions on how to make your favourite snack. Now, I thought, I wonder whether you might need some ideas. So I've had a look at what favourite snacks you might have. You might have your favourite sandwich. You might have cookies or smoothie or a milkshake or a fruit salad. Or you might even have some cupcakes or an ice cream sundae. Look at all those favourite snacks. You might have some of those as your favourite. You can choose one of them. I'm going to show you what my favourite snack is soon. Mine is a cheese sandwich because Mr. Watkiss loves cheese. But before I show you how to make it, we're going to go through our instructions. So how to make a cheese sandwich. That's our instructions. But I'm going to look at the how to brush our teeth in space to remind me what features I need for my instructions. So I need a title. I'm going to need an introductory paragraph telling me about what it is I'm going to be making. I'm going to need a list of things in order to make it. So what do you need? I'm going to also need in my instructions steps to be taken. So how do I make what my title is? And the last one is a top tip. Those are all the things that I need in order to make some really good instructions. Now, I said that my favorite snack was a cheese sandwich. So what do you think that I will need? Well, should we have a look? Well, let's have a look. So let's see whether this works. I've got everything set up right here. So should we have a look? Well, what have I got here? Well, first thing I've got is I've got a chopping board because I might need to do some cutting. I've got 2 slices of bread. I've got a plate to eat it on. I've got some butter here. I've got a sharp knife, which we must be careful with, but I've got a sharp knife just in case I need to do some cutting. I've also got a spreading knife. Now that knife might help me when I'm doing something with the butter. And then I've finally got some cheese. This is just what I had in my fridge, okay? So I've got some cheese, not very extravagant, just cheddar. So what am I going to do? Now, for your task today, I'm not going to be asking you to make it, but you could explore making it so you can find out what your instructions will look like. I'm going to go through how to make a cheese sandwich now. I'm not going to be writing anything down because that's what my task is for you today, for you to write your own instructions. And if I told you how to do the instructions for a cheese sandwich, it's going to be very, very easy for you to then do it again for your own snack. Okay, so I'm going to show you the steps in what I need to do, and then we'll go through the challenges. Okay, so this is my how to make a cheese sandwich. So if I was thinking about my next thing in my instructions, I'd be thinking, oh, it's the introductory paragraph next. So if I was writing this down, I might say, have you ever wanted to know how to make the best cheese sandwich in the world? Well, watch the rest of this video to find out how. Things you will need. So then I'd have my list of things I'd need, and it would be butter, a chopping board, 2 slices of bread, a plate, a sharp knife, a spreading knife, and cheese. And that would be everything that I'd need in order for me to make my cheese sandwich. So now I'm going to think about what my steps are. What order do I have to do it in? So I might say something like, if I move some of these things out of the way, first get your 2 slices of bread and use where are you? There you are. And use the spreading knife to gently spread on some butter. So that might be something that I would do first. So I'm going to get my butter. Now I'm going to think about some of my adverbs. Am I going to dangerously use this knife? Or am I going to carefully use this knife? Oh, look at that. Room temperature butter. Nice and easy to spread. Hopefully. There we go. So I'm going to put some butter on that slice of bread there. So I'm carefully spreading the butter on my bread. Then I'll get my next slice of butter and carefully spread it on the bread, Mr. Watkiss. Thank you. On the other slice of bread. There we go. So I get a little bit more, just so I can make sure I've got all of my slices, all of my slices covered. Had a bit of a brain malfunction there. Didn't quite work out. Right, so I've now spread all my butter on my oh my goodness, Mr. Watkiss, wake up. I've now spread all my butter on my bread. So I don't need the butter anymore, so I'm going to put that to one side. I wouldn't say that in my instructions, I'd just move on to the next step. So the next step must be something to do with the cheese. So I might say, then get your cheese and I'm thinking, how would I say this? And carefully or sensibly, I show you a better angle of what I'm doing, so you don't miss it. And sensibly slice a thin slice of cheese. Hopefully, slightly better than I did there. So carefully slice a thin amount of cheese. Or I could say something like, and thinly slice the cheese. Okay. So then I'm just very carefully, I'm using lots of adverbs here, slicing the hard cheese. Okay. After I've done that, I might want to expand my sentence by using a conjunction. So it might be, then carefully slice the, thinly slice the cheese so that it can go on your bread. Or it could be, and put the cheese on your bread, your buttered bread. Okay. Got my cheese on now. There we go. It might be, my next step might be, next, put your slices of bread together. So put them both together. There we go. I've got my cheese sandwich there. I've got one last step to do. That's a huge cheese sandwich to try and get in my mouth all in one bite. I think that's all going to fall out. So I think my last step is going to be something to do with slicing it on the chopping board. So it might be, or I include something to do with my plate, because I've still got my plate here. So it might be something like, after that, very sensibly slice your sandwich in half to make 2 small pieces. There we go. And then my last step might be, finally, enjoy your cheese sandwich and whilst using your plate. Or finally, put your cheese sandwich on your plate to enjoy. And there I've managed to use all of my equipment. I've used the cheese, I've used the butter, I've used my bread, I've used my knife, I've used my buttering knife, I've used the chopping board, I've used everything to show how to make the cheese sandwich, and I've said it in lots of different ways. Now, to end off my instructions, I might then need to say something about a top tip. So what would my top tip be? Well, my top tip might be, top tip, when making a cheese sandwich, always have the butter at room temperature so that it's easy to spread. That might be a nice top tip. I could do another top tip, which might be something like always use a chopping board to make sure you don't chop into your table, something like that. Or it could be getting an adult's help to help me with it. Anything like that for my top tip would be fantastic. Or you could even add something else in that might be, if top tip, if you want some super flavors, you could even add and then you could add an ingredient to your snack. That's everything that I'm going to show you on how to make a cheese sandwich. I'm going to have to move on to the challenge now because otherwise I'm not going to be able to enjoy my cheese sandwich. So let's get on to the challenge. So the challenge for today is what I explained at the beginning is you're going to be making your own set of instructions, okay? So you're going to be choosing your snack. I would recommend that you make your snack like I've just made my cheese sandwich to see all of the steps that you did. It's quite easy to forget a step. If I didn't cut my cheese carefully, I might have just said, then put cheese on sandwich. Well, that would mean something like this. Let me show you. If you say, you have to be careful with your words, because if you say something like, then put butter on bread. There we go. There's my butter on my bread. Then put cheese on butter. Okay, I can do that. Perfect. There's my cheese on my butter on my, oh, it's all falling over. Hold on. So, this is right. Yes, this is what you meant. No, this is not what you meant. And it's because you haven't said, spread the butter, because you can't just put butter on. Because if you put butter on, you're going to put the whole block on. You can't just say put cheese on. You need to slice the cheese and put the cheese on. Because if you just put the cheese on, you're going to put the whole block on. Even I, who is a cheese lover, would not eat a whole block of cheese. I know that's too much, okay? So you need to be really careful with the words you're using, the verbs that you're using, because you can't just use put for everything. Because if you say put, it sounds like you mean put the whole thing on, and that's not what you mean. So let's go back to our challenge one so I can show you what I'm looking for today. So if you're on challenge one, I'm looking for you to make sure you've got your own title, which is relating to what you're making as your snack. You're not doing how to brush your teeth in space. You're not doing how to wash your hair in space. You are making your own snack. My snack was how to make a cheese sandwich. That was my title. Then you also need to tell me what you need. So you need to write down what you need. So for me, I needed butter, a chopping board, cheese, bread, knife, butter knife. That's the 6 things that I needed. I then need to write out after that for challenge one, steps to be taken. So what did you need to do in order to make your cheese sandwich? So I said, first, get your 2 slices of bread and butter and spread the butter onto your bread. And then it was next slice the cheese and put the cheese onto your bread. After that, cut your sandwich in half. So that's my steps, and I need you to do the same for your own snack. So you start your instructions with a verb. So I said each time you can go cut the cheese, chop the bread, spread the butter. That's your starter sentences, okay? Because it'd be a bit easier if you use your imperative verbs of cut, chop, spread. Right, okay, for challenge 2, I'm looking for you to do your title. I'm looking for you to do what you need. I want your steps to be taken, but I'd also like you to include a top tip. My top tip was remember to keep the butter at room temperature so it's easy to spread. You need to make sure you're using your time sentence starters and conjunctions. So with me, I had first, then, next. And in each sentence, I may have used the word and, so, because. Next, slice the cheese and put it on your bread. So I'm using a conjunction there to make my sentence bigger. Challenge 3. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for a title. I'm looking for an introductory paragraph. I'm looking for what you need. I need the steps to be taken, and I need the top tip. You need to start your instructions with time sentence starters. You also need to be including adverbs. That includes carefully, gently, sensibly, all of those words that we've been going through when we were doing how to wash your hair in space. I hope that makes sense. Thank you very much, Da Vinci. I've got some extra bits here with your time sentence starters first, then, after, next, and finally. And your last bit of help I've got here is your adverbs. Slowly, gently, merrily. That means doing something happy. Neatly, sensibly, lightly, carefully, firmly, evenly. So evenly is a good one for spread the butter evenly. So that tells you that it's all over your bread, okay? Thank you very much, Da Vinci. I'll see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed my cheese sandwich making skills. See you later. Goodbye.